Well, hello there, my fellow rushers. How are you doing today? King Rexy here. Today we're continuing on with our challenges in Legends of Kingdom Rush. And last time I promised you that the next challenge will be much harder, and it is, because we have to answer ourselves the most important question of all time. Can you beat the entirety of Legends of Kingdom Rush on normal difficulty with just Orc Cleaver? Yeah, you heard me right, just the Orc Cleaver. But what do I mean by Orc Cleaver only? Well, allow me to explain the two simple rules of this challenge. The first rule is that the Orc Cleaver is gonna be our only party member that's allowed to attack enemies. Nobody else on the team will be allowed to attack enemies or do any damage to them. That's pretty simple, right? Yeah, but it's also very hard. The second rule is that abilities that don't do damage or we can prevent them from doing so are gonna be allowed. So stuff like shamanic healing, force of nature, nature's wrath, and rally are gonna be allowed. And yeah, that's pretty simple. The only reason why I'm allowing them is because we gotta keep the Orc Cleaver alive somehow. So getting some help will be very nice for him. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, there is gonna be one exception to this challenge, and that will be the first phase of Eriza in Extra Dimensional Menace. Because, unlike the other bosses in the game, where all it takes is just a rough skill to beat this challenge, the first phase of Eriza is just heavy RNG. And there's no real skill to that, it's just hoping for the best, and that the Orc Cleaver can hit her every single time. Which is something that I'm not willing to do, because I have better stuff to do with my time. If you manage to pull it off, then congratulations, you have more free time than I do. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, without any further ado, let's just dive deep into the sea of pain. Alright then. Well, starting off with the first adventure, Krumtak's Dominion. How difficult is it going to be? Can the Orc Cleaver defeat his own kind all by himself? I don't know. Let's test him out. He's pretty good, especially at level 1. His level 1 is pretty decent. His only downfall is that his armor is atrocious. 3 armor is by far the lowest amount that any true melee unit has. Well, besides the units that don't have any armor, like the Sasquatch, but I don't know what the Sasquatch even is. Is he a melee unit? Is he a ranged unit? Is he just there for the sake of existing? I don't know. His existence is a very good question that I just have no answer to. But anyway, this video is not about the freaking Sasquatch, it's about the Orc Cleaver. I mean, look at that. Look at how OP he is right here. He just destroyed every single wolf all by himself. I mean, yeah, Gerald tanked for him, but come on. Gerald didn't do any damage, he just tanked. That's all he did. Which, you know, is pretty good because, as I stated earlier, the Orc Cleaver's biggest issue is his lack of armor. Being able to have not having enough armor to tank reliably basic attack is pretty bad. And I mean, his HP is fine. I don't have any complaints about his health. I would say it's relatively good. But now that he's at level 2, he can just be a beast on his own. The parry stance just gives him so much value. And yeah, for those who couldn't tell, yeah, we'll be using parry stance. It's crucial to succeeding. Also, we got the Sorceress, which, why? Why do we get the Sorceress? I don't know why. I guess we have her now. Yay, a unit with 6 HP that can do anything. And before anyone says Exoburst, Exoburst deals armor damage, so technically speaking, I can't really use this ability. Okay. Now, let's talk about the party members that I'm gonna be selecting besides the Orc Cleaver. For the most part, I'll be using Gerald, simply because 3 reasons. His Aura of Soul is very busted. I mean, come on. Getting -1 damage against physical damage as long as you're adjacent to Gerald is pretty darn good. It's basically like a parry stance minus the counter attacks, but weaker. It's a weaker version of the parry stance, but combined with the actual parry stance, this is very OP because you get a damage reduction against physical damage by 2. As you can see, 2 archers shot at him and he took 0 damage. Why? Because of stacking damage reduction. It's pretty darn good. And yeah, that's one of the main reasons. The other reason is pretty obvious. He is kind of tanky on his own, so he can consistently tank a couple of enemies while the Orc Cleaver is elsewhere taking care of more high priority targets. And the main other reason why I picked him is because of his level 3 power spike. That's when he gets a very, very important ability that's crucial to this challenge, Rally. For those of you who don't know what Rally is, if you haven't played this game or you just don't have Geralt up to level 5, well, allow me to explain. It removes any debuffs from the units that it affects, so if a unit is poisoned, burning, or bleeding, this effect is no longer applicable. It's gone, just like that. But the big part is the movement speed bonus. It gives +1 movement to all units for 3 turns. And it has a 3-turn cooldown, so you can pretty much use it. You can have it up all the time. Technically speaking, it's pretty darn strong. And yeah, that's why we're gonna be using it, because obviously the Orc Cleaver is pure melee. He has 0 ranged attacks, so getting extra movement will be very nice. And for my other companion that I'm gonna be using is obviously the Witch Doctor. Why? For 2 reasons. The first one is not so obvious. It's basically Force of Nature. For those of you who don't know, Force of Nature is probably the most underrated ability in the whole game. Because if you play the game normally, unlike me, because let's be honest, I'm not gonna be a YouTuber if I'm making normal content, am I right? We make something that's supposed to be difficult, and this is pretty difficult. But anyway, back to the point. Force of Nature. The way it works is that it pulls up enemies, or in this case, allies, closer to the Witch Doctor's location. However, if they're adjacent to him, he's gonna push them away by 2 hexes. And that's what I'm gonna be trying to do with the Witch Doctor, for the most part. Just pushing up the Orc Cleaver, allowing him to cover more ground, sniping up enemies. It'll be pretty good. I definitely feel like it. And the second reason is pretty obvious, the healing. Considering the fact that he has, he doesn't have the highest armor, being able to regenerate your HP is gonna be very, very nice. But yeah, let's see, we have an ambush. Oh, come on. I wanted to get to the boss fight. I wanted to do some showcasing up in here. Now, while we're waiting, I want you to be keeping an eye out on this orc, because he dealt his highest possible damage of 5, like 3 to 4 times in a row. Like, bruh, what is that RNG? I guess this ambush didn't want Geralt to be alive. Like, look, he did it again. He survived. What? What? Okay, now he dealt his minimal damage finally after like 4 freaking times. Sheesh. Geralt is the real champ up in here. Look at that. Look for how long he was able to tank these enemies. I mean, yeah, now the Orc Cleaver is just gonna one-tap them because, you know, he's at level 3 at this point, so he can just consistently one-shot a lot of enemies. Now here we pray for Vigor. Unfortunately, Geralt got the Invigoration, but it's all fine. We're gonna be all good. Now here comes the difficult part. Krumtak, the first boss of the game. How are we gonna do? Well, as you can see, we pushed the Orc Cleaver with the Force of Nature. Now we can snipe out the Shaman, because the problem with... was it called Orc Shaman? Or... yeah, he was an Orc Shaman. The problem with the Orc Shaman is that he's the only unit up in here that can do armor-piercing damage. And that's a pretty big problem, so getting him out of the picture right away will be very beneficial. And yeah, here I took a little bit of a gamble. I wanted the Orc Cleaver to tank, and thankfully he was able to, because of his parry stance. He took only 4 damage. And now he can just regenerate his armor. That's another thing that some people may not know about parry stance. It also gives you an additional 2 armor regeneration on top of your base armor regeneration. And because he's at level 3, he has base armor regeneration of 3. So technically speaking, you have an armor regeneration of 5, which is very, very big. 5 damage is enough to consistently take an attack from an orc, who can do between 3 to 5 physical damage with his basic attack. So that's pretty nifty. Now here, we have only a couple of archers left. Funnily enough, a good amount of the damage was dealt by the boss himself, so yeah. Krumtak ended up killing a good amount of his army on accident, or at least helping us kill his army. And yeah, now the rally unfortunately ran out, so the Orc Cleaver can't really do anything this turn, so yikes, we gotta just wait. Geralt can thankfully tank these archers. Now we're just gonna give the rally point, not to the sorceress though, she's useless here, so yeah. Now, let's think. Which archer do I want to pick? I decided to pick the one who has full HP, simply because there is a small chance that he can run towards the right side of the map, not to the left. And I want the Orc Cleaver to be towards the left side of the map, because there is a chance that Krumtak is gonna spawn towards the top side, which thankfully he does. So now we can just unleash our very strong Brutal Cleave on him and delete a good chunk of his health. I mean, yeah, 9 physical damage, that's a lot. Unfortunately, he does have 3 armor, so he did end up taking a little bit of that, which, you know, it's fine. And now look at Force of Nature. Force of Nature, common and clutch. It gave us 1 extra movement, so we were able to hit the boss again. And that was very nice. Now, here, unfortunately, the boss ends up spawning an abomination, which, you know, it doesn't really matter. As long as we kill the boss, the level is over, so I'm gonna prioritize killing him. And would you look at that? Force of Nature coming in clutch again. Unfortunately, the Orc Cleaver didn't, because he dealt his minimal damage. So the boss literally lived with 1 HP, which, you know, kinda sucks, but it's fine. We can finish him off in the next turn anyway. We gave him the rally bonus, we pull him up with Force of Nature, and we Brutal Strike him. There we go. First adventure completed. Not a lot of hustle whatsoever. And we got 2 flawless combat encounters somehow. Impressive. Okay, moving on to the Stormcloud's Winter. We're still keeping the same party up in here because, obviously, it's pretty decent. I may end up switching up to another legend on the next adventure, but for now, the Orc Cleaver is pretty solid on his own. Now, thankfully, the Winter Wolves weren't that much of an issue because, 1, we can just heal the damage back up, and 2, because of the way the Q worked, by the time the Winter Wolf hit Gerald, this troll on the that's below him can just free him from the ice, so that's pretty good. Okay, now let's finish this guy off, and boom, we already got through our first combat encounter. Pretty easy, and we were able to get the Orc Cleaver up to level 2 at I would say kind of an early point, so that's very nice. The earlier we get the parry stance, the easier the next levels are gonna become. And we're gonna be 1 step closer to getting up to level 3, where he can just destroy anything he wants. Okay, now if you've noticed that the video is faster, which I would assume that you probably did have at this point, it's for a reason. These combat encounters take quite a while when only one of your units is allowed to attack. It does take a while, so I decided to speed up the footages by 4 times. Normally I just increase the speed by 2 because, let's be honest, this game is kind of short, but this time around I decided to do this instead. Okay, let's use parry stance here. Let's see. Look at that beauty. Okay. Parry stance OP or what? Well, pretty obvious, it is OP. And thankfully, here we got the Ranger as our 4th companion. And that's actually very big. Now you may be thinking that the Ranger is useless and he can't do anything for this challenge, but you'll be wrong. You'll actually be very, very wrong, because at level 2 he has an ability that allows him to summon Brambles. And the Brambles don't do any damage. The only thing that they're capable of doing is rooting an enemy for 1 turn. And that's gonna be very, very big, because being able to stall out to keep up a couple of enemies away from the Orc Cleaver while he's just dealing with higher priority targets will be pretty useful. Okay, unfortunately here he took some HP damage. Doesn't matter though, we can just heal him back up. Now let's use the parry stance, because I decided to. It's gonna give him the armor regeneration bonus, so why not? And now here I'm just gonna watch this guy kill himself. Bruh. This is one of my favorite things that I like doing here. Just watching the troll champion kill himself with a double attack. It's hilarious. Now, unfortunately, we ended up getting the Yeti combat encounter. And this is probably the most annoying one that you can face in the Arglam. Because the Yetis are the type of enemy that you don't see at all. Like, when was the last time that you saw a Yeti before, not counting this combat encounter? Like, you rarely see them, if at all. So, yeah. Well, at least there was one good thing, though. This Yeti took like 8 collateral damage from the other 2. And we were able to finish him off, which is very, very nice. Unfortunately, we did end up taking a little bit of a beating. But it's fine, we have the Witch Doctor who can heal us up. Because of one of his abilities, or I shouldn't say abilities, traits, which is called Preparation. If he doesn't use any actions, his abilities that are on cooldown are gonna get reduced by 1 turn. So, potentially speaking, we can heal one of our party members every 2 turns. Which is insane, because he can heal, I believe, up to 3 HP, but later on he can heal all the way up to 4, and then I believe 5 HP. Which is a lot of health. Like, he being able to heal all the way up to 5 health is insane number. Okay, here, I'm not sure what I was doing. I guess I was trying to position the Orc Cleaver in a way that he will not get knocked back, but I just didn't get lucky. So, yeah, we ended up killing the Yeti a little bit sloppily, but it's fine because look at what we got. Armor repair kits. That's very big because now we can level up the Orc Cleaver's armor, and his armor is the only problem. Unfortunately, though, we do end up getting the Barbarian combat encounter. Normally, I wouldn't mind. I really like the Barbarian combat encounters, I find them to be very challenging, but considering that the Orc Cleaver is the only one allowed to do damage, they're pretty much useless. I guess they have a good amount of health, that's a good thing, I guess, but still. Having health is just not good enough. I guess they can distract a couple of enemies for a while, but that's about it. Thankfully, this Troll Chieftain didn't hit the Orc Cleaver, somehow. I guess RNG prevails. So yeah, now we are able to keep up 2 of the Barbarians alive for now. Well, this guy may end up dying though, I don't know. Oof. Okay, that was a little bit of a miscalculation. The Orc Cleaver wasn't supposed to take that much HP damage, but I guess a little bit of a miscalculation. Okay, now Gerald should take this hit from the Trollbreaker. Yep. Oh, the Ranger is in danger. We gotta bail him out of there. Come on, Ranger, move out. Summon the Brambles. Oh, that was a terrible position. The Troll can actually go around them if he's smart, but thankfully he is an idiot, and he just ends up walking right into the Brambles. He could have just went around them. He does have 3 movement. Even if he didn't, 2 movement is more than enough to catch up to the Ranger, so I don't know why he didn't do it. Whatever the reason is, it's fine. Okay, here unfortunately we do end up losing the Witch Doctor though, and that's unfortunate because now we have to be very careful with taking HP damage because our healer is dead. So if we take HP damage like Gerald did, like right there, this is gonna be a problem. Okay, thankfully the Trollbreaker didn't do as much damage as I hoped for, and here again I miscalculate again because this guy had his Battering Ram ability up. So the Brambles are literally useless right here. Thankfully we had this Fire Pot, so we could have used it as a blockade, so that way the Orc Cleaver can counterattack. And for those who don't know this already, if you position the Orc Cleaver behind a unit, or hazard for that matter, it's gonna allow him to counterattack back any attack, even from enemies that apply knockback, such as the Trollbreaker, which is pretty darn nice, and it's gonna come in handy later on. For one very specific enemy, which you're gonna see. Actually, you're gonna see him in this adventure, but it's gonna be close to the end. Okay, let's see. Now we get this combat encounter, which is probably my favorite one in the game. It's called Call for Reinforcements, and the combat encounter itself is not that difficult. It can be challenging if you get it like at the very beginning, because yes, it can spawn on like I believe the earliest point that you can get this combat encounter on is right after your first node, so yeah, if you get it at the very early points of the game, this combat encounter can be challenging because there are 2 Troll Champions, there's a Trollbreaker, but the positive thing is that at least you are able to obtain all the way up to 3 human soldiers, or footmen, because let's be honest, that's what they are. I don't know why they renamed them to human soldiers, that doesn't really make sense, they're footmen, but hey, I'm not the one making names up at here, I don't work at Ironhide, even though I really wished it for it. Imagine how cool it will be. Imagine how cool it will be to be working alongside the legends that made this game. That'll be amazing. For anyone who is doing this right now, I admire you. I admire you a lot. And I'm also very jealous because I wish I was working at Ironhide. Anyway, we're gonna finish off this combat encounter pretty easily. We're just gonna let this guy finish himself off. There we go. Okay, unfortunately, Gerald ends up getting the damage boost, but the Orc Cleaver is all the way up to level 3, which is very nice. Unfortunately, what is not nice is this scenario. Would you look at that? We have Spideronis. A lot of Spideronis. I mean, okay, 4 maybe it's not a lot, but there are high-tier spiders. We have the Matriarch, who has a ranged attack that can use every turn, and it has a range of 3. And because they can move by 2 hexes, they have an effective range of whopping 5, which is pretty standard for most units, but considering their strong attack, it will actually be kind of annoying. And also, the Witch Doctor died again. That's pretty bad. We did end up getting a triple kill though, so that's something. Gerald is tanking it up, which is good. Keep on tanking, Gerald, I believe in you. Now, the problem is that the Orc Cleaver has very low health. Like, he literally has 3 HP remaining, which is very small. Now, the good thing is that we have the parry stance. And parry stance here comes in clutch because this guy can do between 3 to 4 damage, so there was a 50-50 chance that he could have dealt his highest damage of 3. which he didn't, thankfully, otherwise I had to reset this combat encounter. So that was nice. We do end up getting another ambush though, which, you know, sucks, because ambushes, at this point, they're not a threat, like, at all. We can just deal with them very easily, because the Orc Cleaver is at a high level, our party members are leveled up, so we can deal with them at a rather easily. It's just more of a time-consuming process, because there are 2 enemies on each side of the map, so the Orc Cleaver can't deal with all of them at once. So what I decided on doing is to just let the Orc Cleaver deal with one side while Geralt is taking the other. And yeah, this with the roof is just not doing anything. I mean, he was able to freeze Geralt once, I believe, but that's about it. Okay, now I'm just gonna resummon the Brambles, making sure that this Winter Roof can't do anything. And thankfully he didn't dodge, so yay, we got him. Now here, unfortunately, we do end up getting probably the worst encounter that you can get here. It's the cultist encounter with the obelisk. The only reason why it's bad is because there are 3 magic damage dealers. We have the Unblinded Exultant, who can deal all the way up to 2 to 4 magic damage with his basic attack, and he has an effective range of 6, just like the Flareons. Speaking of which, we're gonna be seeing them very soon, don't worry, they're coming. Oh lord, they're coming. They're coming like, I don't know. Let's just say that they're coming. Unfortunately here, the ranger is very stuck. We can't hit this tentacle, so unfortunately he has to tank a hit. And, of course, the tentacle deals his highest damage of 3, which is unfortunate. Now here, what I decided on doing is hitting this abomination. But then I figured out that his splash damage deals only 3 physical damage. So this unblinded priest at the back, he was gonna live with 1 HP, and because of that he was gonna turn into another abomination. And I didn't want this to happen. Some people may say that it's better, but the abomination can do all the way between, I believe, 5 to 7 physical damage. Maybe it's 4 to 7, but I believe it's between 5 to 7. So yeah. Okay, now what do we need to do? What do we need to do? Well, for the most part, we just have to let Geralt be a literal pushover for this abomination. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to do that because I'm an idiot. Look at that. Look at my stupid decision-making skills. Not for the Orc Cleaver though, for the Geralt. I moved him away by 2 hexes. And because of that, now the Witch Doctor is closer to the abomination, so he ended up getting one-shotted. Which is very, very bad, because now he has only 1 HP. 1 HP is atrocious. He can't even survive an attack from a tentacle. Like, at all. Bruh. Oh, that's bad. At least we're gonna finish off this abomination, though. Well, we're gonna finish him off with a counterattack, unfortunately, because the obelisk healed him, but it doesn't really matter. We just have to go for it. We have to make a run for it and get this obelisk down. Because otherwise, I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to kill this abomination. Unfortunately, Geralt ended up biting the dust. We got some... I guess the abomination was able to strike some heavy blows, but thankfully, we were able to damage the obelisk, and we also dealt some collateral damage due to the abomination's AoE attack. I decided to use the whirlwind here just to finish him off, and there we go. Counterattack for the win. Unfortunately, though, we have quite a few crippling wounds, but we're able to upgrade the damage on the Orc Cleaver, so that's good. And we had this Invigoration Potion, which is very helpful for this boss fight, which... Holy crap, it took a while. I'm not gonna show you the failed attempts, because there were quite a few, but I ended up managing to do it, mostly because of really good RNG. But unfortunately, RNG doesn't improve my decision-making skills, because the ranger died. I should have moved him, but I didn't. I don't know why, I just didn't. He just stood there. I left him for dead. And now here, I decided to completely ignore the crystals. Because the Orc Cleaver can hit the crystal, but there's still a 50-50 chance that we may not hit the boss. And so I decided to focus on hitting, on dealing with the enemies rather than the crystals. I was just relying on the RNG aspect. Here, however, I decided, you know what, screw this, let's try this. Let's try to get some good RNG up in here. There's a 50-50 chance that we can strike the right, that the right crystal is gonna get struck, causing the boss to take damage. The Witch Doctor ended up being one-shotted, but we also got some good RNG, and the boss needs to be hit only one more time before we can start annihilating him with the Orc Cleaver. Unfortunately, Geralt is probably not gonna make it. Yep, he is dead. Now we just have the Orc Cleaver, and the boss ends up spawning. Now, for those who don't know, his pulling ability has infinite range, so I waited here, used the parry stance, And look at that. He literally set himself to die here, because now we can just put the Orc Cleaver behind this wall, so that way the boss doesn't knock him back. And yeah, we'll be able to counterattack and then just completely annihilate him. We got the Sorcerer though, which is pretty nice. So we can summon the Golem for a distraction, which is nice. But would you look at that? We end up dealing our highest damage, and we killed Uruk-hai. Impressive! Orc Cleaver pulling it up. Congratulations. Let's go. 0 flawless combat encounters though. Lol. XD. XD. Anyway, moving on to Extra Dimensional Menace with a very solid start, because we got a damage wagon at the beginning. So this means that we're gonna get our damage upgrade right away. So now the Orc Cleaver deals between 6 to 8 damage right away. So we can comfortably one-shot Demon Imps and potentially one-shot Demon Hounds. And yeah, I know that they're not called Demon Imps, they're called Demon Spawns, but I just call them Demon Imps for some reason. I don't really know why. But there is another problem though, the Flareon. Oh my god, the Flareon. I hate the Flareons. Who likes Flareons here? Nobody? As expected. These guys are a pain in the butt. Effective range of 6, an attack that deals between 1 to 2 magic damage, and they set units on fire. What's there not to like? Unfortunately here, Braveheart ends up dying, but it's fine. We have a bandage, so we can just heal his crippling wound back up. Now, you're probably thinking why I'm using Braveheart. You could have used Gerald again, but I wanted to try out Braveheart because of his because of his Nature's Wrath ability, which, for those who don't know what it does, it just summons Brambles. But these Brambles are not like the Ranger's Brambles, because they also end up inflicting bleed on the target. Now you may think that because of the bleed effect, they shouldn't be allowed, but as long as the enemy doesn't attack, he doesn't trigger the bleed effect. So yeah. Look at that. Look how efficient the Brambles are here. We were able to stall out this Demon Hound and Demon Spawn for quite some time. And because of that, the Orc Cleaver can just, you know, safely walk there and finish them off. Now, I'm not gonna move him here, because if we don't kill the Duggo, he's gonna attack, meaning that he's gonna trigger the bleed effect. That's why I waited here. We did not one-shot him though, which was a little depressing. But of course, with our counter-attack, we leave him at 1 HP, but it didn't matter because he didn't blow up. We just killed him. Honestly, even if he blowed up, we were not gonna take any HP damage, so yeah. Moving on to this combat encounter, honestly, not much to say other than easy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I mean, look at that. We don't have many issues here. The only problem that I'm seeing here is the Unblighted Exultant though. But thankfully, you can easily abuse him. Just walk into his range. He's gonna, because that way, if a unit is already in his range, he's gonna prioritize using his tentacle summoning ability instead of using his basic attack, which in this case would have dealt way more damage, because it can do between 2 to 4 magic damage, but because of the parry stats, it can only do between 1 to 3, which, you know, it's still a lot. That's about the same number that the Unblighted Priest can do. So yeah. But it didn't really matter because we were able to take him out of the fight at a very early point, so yeah, easy, right? Yep, it was easy. This wagon didn't offer anything, so we just skipped it. And yeah, we got the Dark Knight. Rejected. Get rejected like a Tinder date. Ooh, alright, we have another combat encounter here. This one has abominations, that's not good. Abominations are gonna be a problem. Because of they can be problematic at the early game, but we'll see. Maybe they're not gonna be that bad. I feel like with Braveheart, the abominations are much easier because we can just constantly stall them out with, you know, the Brambles. They can just walk into the Brambles, get rooted, and then we can just keep on repeating this process again. The only downside to these Brambles though, is that unlike the Rangers Brambles where they end up despawning after some time, these ones stay forever. They never time out. So because of that, if Unblighted Priest ends up walking into them and attacking, he's gonna trigger the bleed effect. So hence why I have to be very, very cautious with the Brambles and their position. Well, I can't really control their position. I can decide where to put them, but after that the game decides in which formation they're gonna spawn. Thankfully, I think I only had to redo this once or twice. It didn't took that many attempts, thankfully. I'm not gonna show them because they were pretty boring, but just so you know, it wasn't a first time win. Okay, now let's move on to another combat encounter. Thankfully, it was worth it because we got the Mask of Sorrow. For those who don't know, Mask of Sorrow is by far the most OP item in the game, because before the boss fight, there's a purple question mark, and if you go to it with the mask, what you can do is you can insert the mask, and your units are gonna get some of your units in random. Well, I don't know, let's put it. How do I put it? Let me think. So you get +1 damage, +1 HP, and invigoration bonus to some of your units at random. So yeah, it's there is a high chance that the Orc Cleaver can get one of those buffs, and if he does, that'll be very beneficial. Okay, now for the skeleton encounter with the obelisk, honestly, pretty easy, very easy, I would say. The only downside to this though is that we're pretty much cornered. As you can see, because of the brambles, we don't really have any room to move in, so that's a problem. That's a bit of a problem. I thought that here, Braveheart was really put up to the limit. I thought that he was gonna be tanky enough to survive, but spoiler alert, he actually ends up dying because, I mean, look at that. Look at how far away the Orc Cleaver is. By the time he was able to clear up the tentacles and move up to Braveheart to bail him out, Braveheart already died. Even with the Witch Doctor's healing, unfortunately, he wasn't able to survive. I mean, look at that. Rip, rip, Braveheart. Now, unfortunately, the Witch Doctor is also gonna die. At least this skeleton champion ended up wasting his stun though, so at least his death wasn't for nothing. Okay, that wasn't that bad. However, the next combat encounter though, let's see what we have here. Oh my god. Oh no! Oh no.
Magic herbs and verbs.
Blade is thirsty. No!
So yeah, it was quite a painful one. It took me quite a few attempts to get it right. The problem with this level is not really the Orc Cleaver's HP, he can tank pretty reliably for the most part. The problem is getting Braveheart to do his job right, because he needs to distract enough enemies to the point where he can safely regenerate his health without being in danger of dying. But the other problem is the brambles. As I said, because they stay forever, and they never really disappear, if an unblinded priest or the Exultant walks into them, he's probably gonna trigger the bleed effect, hence why it was kind of challenging to get right. But after a few attempts, I was able to finally make Braveheart distract enough enemies to the point where the Orc Cleaver can safely take care of the Exultant. So that was very nice. Because we took care of them early, now we don't have to worry about any additional tentacles spawning, blocking our way. And we're able to kill off a good amount of the abominations pretty easily. Now we just have one abomination that's gonna be rooted for quite some time. Now I don't know why I didn't move the Orc Cleaver there. I could've, but whatever. It is what it is. Okay, Braveheart is still tanking, surprisingly. Here I decided to not use the brambles because I didn't want to risk it. I'm not gonna risk it for the biscuit. Okay, you know what, actually I did, never mind. Lol. Okay, now we need to pull back. Pull back, oh, bruh. Bruh. Discord notifications. Come on now, we don't need Discord. Shut up Discord. God damn it. Oh my god. Yeah, sorry for the random notifications here and there. I don't know why, I just forgot to turn it off. But it doesn't really matter though, because here we were able to finally beat this combat encounter somewhat easily. I mean, it took a few attempts, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't as bad as you may think. It was surprisingly... It was more of a get good RNG on the brambles and make Braveheart distract enough enemies to the point so that the Orc Cleaver can, you know, do his thing. Now, thankfully, we ended up getting to an armor smith, so now we increased the armor of the Orc Cleaver by 2, so now he has +2 armor and +1 damage from an earlier weaponsmith that from the earlier weaponsmith that we got. Okay, here thankfully we were able to one-shot the Duggo. There are 4 demon hounds, which is pretty annoying, simply because they have a lot of health. 8 HP is pretty decent, and because of that, they have a small chance of surviving the Orc Cleaver's basic attack, and they can also dodge sometimes, which is bad, because these guys, even with the parry stance on, they can do some decent damage to him, and they also inflict burning, which is bad. Okay, here, let's see. Oh, we end up one-shotting him. That's good, because now we can use our AoE attack to kill this guy and the Flareon. Nice. Now here, for some reason, I decided to go for a Demon Lord encounter like an idiot, and I ran into another problem. Look at that. Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, you already know what's gonna happen, so... insert a couple of failed attempts right about now. So yeah, the majority of the time, I ended up losing because of the stupid Brambos. The Brambos actually ended up making it harder, in a way. I mean, sure, we're getting a better tank. In my opinion, Braybrok is better than Geralt in terms of consistent tanking, but... man, the Brambos really make this hard, because if a player steps on them, or the Demon Lord, we're screwed. We're screwed forever. And it doesn't help that there are street-whopping Flareons that we have to worry about. And the Demon Lord just gives them shields, and he can also do a lot of magic damage with his basic attack. It's fun all around, it's really fun. It was probably the hardest combat encounter that I've got on Extra Dimensional Menace so far. And for a good reason. The constant barrage of Flareons, the fact that we had so many Demon Hounds that can dodge our attacks, and of course the Demon Lord just giving shields to everyone. Now here, I decided to move Braybrok so that way he can tank some shots for me, because I wanted the Orc Cleaver to regenerate his HP. His HP was pretty low, so I wanted to just give him a little bit of a boost before putting him back into battle. Here, I decided to risk it with the Brambles, and thankfully it wasn't bad, because we ended up stalling out this Demon Hound and the Demon Spawn for one more turn, so we don't have to worry about them quite yet. Now here, unfortunately, we sacrificed Braybrok, so yeah. Rest in pepperoni, Braybrok. You will be remembered, but unfortunately here, you just can't really survive. GG, Braybrok. I'm sorry, Braybrok. I'm so sorry. I used to simp for you in Origins, but I had to sacrifice you. Please forgive me. Please forgive me, man. Okay, here. Come on! Yeah! Oh my god, I'm choking on my spit. Sheesh. Well, that was very good. There was a small chance we could have dealt our minimal damage and the Demon Lord was gonna live with 1 HP. Thank god. And here we got very lucky with the mask. The Orc Cleaver got +1 something, and he got himself invigorated. Now here, we're finally allowed to use our basic attacks on, you know, everyone. Here we got this really good RNG on Eriza though. We end up hitting her with the Orc Cleaver right away. However, here the RNG now becomes awful because, you know, we didn't hit her. And unfortunately the Orc Cleaver gets put to sleep, which is bad. But thankfully we ended up sniping her out with the Witch Doctor somehow. I guess we got pretty lucky. But it's fine, because now we're not allowed to attack. That was our only opportunity to attack. Now it's all the Orc Cleaver. Can he beat the second and third phase of Eriza all by himself? Well, he kind of destroyed her in the first phase almost by himself, because, you know, he ended up dealing whopping 10 damage to her, and she only has 12 HP, so yeah. Okay, the Witch Doctor is still alive somehow. He's surviving for now. Will he survive for much longer? I don't know. I hope so. Unfortunately, I have to move him out. That's just the way it is. Otherwise, he was gonna get smacked by the tentacle. And the cocoon was gonna blow up on him. Now, unfortunately, I accidentally ended up moving him in the range of Eriza's attack, so he's dead. I should have healed him. I should have healed Brave Bark instead, but what I decided to do is I used Force of Nature, which was stupid because now the Orc Cleaver is in range of the Cybo, so he's gonna take 2 HP damage, which was definitely unnecessary, but I guess I was a little bit of an idiot here. And you know, we all do some stupid moves at times. But does it matter? Here, no, it does not, because would you look at that? Irisa is gonna spawn here, and the Orc Cleaver is gonna complete and utterly destroy her. Okay, Irisa, come on. Come on with your long animations. And you are dead. Okay, that was actually pretty easy. Would you look at that? The second boss was actually harder than Irisa. Interesting. Okay, let's move out, move into the portal, and now we can take a short moment to rest, because we still have one more adventure that we need to deal with. We have the Wild Moon. And the Wild Moon is gonna be quite a doozy one. Because there's a lot of enemies here that can be very troublesome to deal with. The first one is pretty obvious, Vine Paws. You can't hit them from the front because you take 1 true damage back, similar to the Dark Knight's Armor of Thorns. The good thing is that you can if you hit them on the back, you actually don't take any damage. The problem is that because they're a dog-based enemy, they have a chance to dodge melee attacks. So that's fun. Then we also have the Asherman Warlock. He has an armor shredding ability that has no cooldown. He can shred all the way up to 8 armor because, you know, balance. This is like an ability that Riot themselves would design for League of Legends. Like, why? Why do you give it 0 cooldown? That doesn't make sense. But anyway, the Warlock is not the problem is not really the armor shredding ability. The main problem comes from the fact that he can summon a Vine Paw, and the fact that he can also dodge melee attacks, because, you know, balancing. You know, that's very balanced. That's very good and balanced, and it should never be questioned. Anyway, now another problematic enemy is going to be the Nightshade, which thankfully, spoiler alert, I didn't encounter until very late into the adventure, so I guess I got very lucky there. And there's a pretty simple reason why they're annoying. I've already explained it many times in my challenges in this game, but if you don't know, well, it's because the fact that they do true damage with their basic attack. So even with the parry stance on, they're still gonna be able to do 2 true damage to the Orc Cleaver. So that's gonna be spectacular. And then the Asherman Enchantress actually is not that bad, actually, now that I think about it. Sure, she has a magical damaging attack, but for the most part we can just kill her with 1 shot, so she's not that much of an issue. Surprisingly though, the saplings are kinda problematic. Why? Well, because once you kill them, after 3 turns, they end up resurrecting as trunks. And the trunks are annoying. They're not incredibly difficult to deal with or anything. It's not like they have a dodging ability. The problem is that they do AoE damage and they apply knockback. So because of that, we have to keep the Orc Cleaver and Gerald close to each other, kind of like this, so that way the Orc Cleaver doesn't get knocked back and he has the ability to counterattack. Okay, now it's just gonna be one long, boring festival. While we're just waiting for this trunk to die, he finally did. And now, Gerald, unfortunately... Oh, actually, no, he didn't take HP damage, my bad. I thought he was about to take HP damage. Oh, now he didn't. Okay. Come on, kill him. Ah, he lived with 2 health. Come on. Alright, Gerald tanked it. And boom. Everybody lives with full HP. Nice. Finally, we got our parry stance. We have a riddle, which I unfortunately guess wrong, because, yeah, I'm a sucker when it comes down to riddles. I'm not good with them at all. And, yeah. We got incredibly lucky here, though. We got a Sharpening Stone. And getting a Sharpening Stone is gonna be very big, because +1 damage. Also, we got the Ranger again. He came back to rejoin us, to join us in this tedious conquest. And that's pretty good. Now, the problem with the Ranger here is the brambles are not gonna be efficient against everybody. Most of the enemies here are immune to bramble-like effects, so they can just walk right through them. So, but there's one good thing. He can stall out stuff like trunks and vine pods, I believe. But every other enemy, unfortunately, can just walk right by them. So that's annoying. But you know, it could have been worse. We could have gotten something like, I don't know, the Arcane Wizard. Or the Sorceress, for that matter. Actually, now that I think about it, Now that I'm looking at this, the Arcane Wizard may have been allowed, because you can freeze the Orc Cleaver and let him tank a very heavy attack. Maybe I should have allowed him. Well, the challenge is I've already recorded everything, so I'm not gonna redo this. By the way, would you look at that? Geralt is getting gangbanged all the way down. Look at that, their tree trunks ready to. Well, nah, I'm not gonna say it. I don't wanna say inappropriate stuff that much. Okay, let's see. This guy dealt some collateral damage. That's nice. It's always good to see. 3 damage is not a lot, but hey, it's a little bit of a something. Okay, now we can just keep on healing. Let's kill this guy. Move Geralt away. This guy's gonna walk into the brambles, so he is pretty much useless now. We can focus on killing this trunk, but instead what I decided to do was I just put him up there. I wanted to do damage to this guy for some reason. I don't really know why. Oh yeah, this is why. He killed him with a collateral damage and then he died from a counter attack. Impressive. Now here we have this unique combat encounter with the orcs. The only reason why I went here is because after completing this combat encounter, which is not really a combat encounter, it's a die roll event. But the thing about this is that you can choose to fight them, and that's how you enter this special combat encounter. And once you beat it, one of your units is gonna get +1 armor. And if the Orc Cleaver gets it, or Geralt for that matter, that'll be very good, because having that +1 extra efficient HP can be can make a difference between life and death. You never know. You never know with this challenge if you're gonna die or not. Okay, Orc Cleaver, let's just spare stats, I guess. Why not? He's rooted, so he's not gonna get knocked back. And yeah, let's finish off this ogre. 2 basic attacks is all it took. Low XD. Okay, this guy got pushed back to the brambles. That was hilarious. Okay, now let's think about it. Whirlwind all the time. Every time, whirlwind attack. Now you may say that Undying Rage will be incredible because of the fact that it gives you vulnerability, but I've played with this ability before, and let me tell you, there's one little problem. This ability, unfortunately, doesn't work on damage over time abilities. So, if the Orc Cleaver is on 1 HP and he's burning, being poisoned, stuff like that, he's gonna die if he doesn't have his parry stance on. So yeah, that's why I don't go for it, because it can save him in some situations, but for the most part the Whirlwind Strike is better, because the Orc Cleaver has 0 AoE attacks, so having that will be very nice, especially if he's surrounded by enemies and they survive with very little health from his counterattacks. You can just clear them up nicely, and it's just very niche. Now here, I don't know why I decided to heal back the Orc Cleaver, because he lost that 1 HP immediately, so that was a bit of a bro moment right there. Thankfully, we won the archery contest, so now we have a little bit of extra money to work with. God damn, I'm coughing. Stop it. Oh, hello there, my old friend. How you been? You haven't showed up in a while. How's your family? How's life? I hope you're doing miserably. The Nightshades. The Nightshades are coming. Can we deal with them? Probably not, because they can just walk right through our brambles. We can't stall them. We can't keep them stalled at all. Thankfully, this guy ended up dealing a lot of collateral damage. He ended up destroying the armor of both of those Nightshades, so that was very, very good. Okay, now let's heal back Geralt. The Orc Cleaver is unfortunately gonna take 4 whopping true damage, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Okay, now here I decided to use my AoE attack, because why not? This trunk was gonna kill himself anyway, so I decided to just not move at all. Okay, now, ooh, the ranger took a hit. That was unfortunate, but thankfully we can just bail him out and heal him back up with the Witch Doctor. And we also have this healing plant, which for some reason I didn't end up triggering it right away. I ended up triggering it I believe it was close to the end of the combat scenario. So I don't know why I did it. I just did it because low, I guess. So yeah, here I decided to keep Geralt here, and yeah, we're just waiting. We're waiting to kill this trunk. There we go. Kill the trunk. Come on, finish him. Finish him. Oh, yeah, I thought the bleed was gonna finish him off. So yeah, he lived with 1 HP, which is a good and a bad thing. It's a good thing because he's not gonna be able to attack. It's a bad thing because he's gonna heal back up. But remember, he's not immune to brambles, so we can just keep him stalled out for a little bit. Let Gerald regenerate his HP with the healing plant, and also the witch doctor. And yeah, let's kill this guy off, and that's pretty much it. Let's move on to the last combat encounter. Oh, never mind. We have an ambush. Great. Why you gotta give me an ambush right now? Come on now. You did the same thing on Stormcloud's Winter. Why you gotta do me like that? Anyway, we have a Nightshade. Let's kill it. We need to kill it fast before it can do its true damaging attack. Which for some reason I decided not to do. Instead I decided to trigger a parry stance. I probably should have just attacked the Nightshade instead, because that way we would have taken only 1 true damage from the poison instead of 2 true damage from the Nightshade's basic attack. So that was a little bit stupid of me, but it is what it is. It's fine though. We can just heal back this the damage that we took. Okay, let's see. Anything else? Anything else that is gonna be a problem here? I don't think so. It's just a matter of time before the enemies just die. Okay, we may have to deal with an additional trunk though, because this doggo just refuses to die. So I was like, you know what? Screw the doggo. I'm gonna deal with it later. So I decided to just kill this trunk right away. And now, for some reason, the doggo didn't dodge, so yeah, great. Okay, the Orc Cleaver is unfortunately rooted, so he couldn't really attack. And we have another trunk that's about to spawn. Oh my god, okay. I guess we can just use the basic attack to do a lot of damage to him because of the epic effect. Okay, now what? Now what do we need to do? This guy's gonna kill his friend, and now we're just gonna kill him for it. There we go. Now we're actually to the last combat encounter before the boss fight. Here, we got Ashraven Enchantress. And funnily enough, this is actually the first time that we see her in this adventure, so that's nice. It's nice that the game didn't give us the Ashraven Enchantress at earlier points of the game, because it can definitely happen. But it is what it is. Also, these trunks were helping me quite a bit because of their AoE attack. That collateral damage and friendly fire helps us out quite a bit. Now, unfortunately here, I think we're gonna take some damage, unfortunately, from the Ashraven Enchantress because of her magic damage attack. But it's all good. It's all fine and dandy up in here. Because now we can just use parry stance. And yeah, look at that. We dealt some damage to her, we dealt some damage to the doggo. Gerald is still taking damage, so we're gonna pull him back a little bit. Well, not really, we're gonna literally make him... Well, never mind. I was about to say we were about to make him take an attack from the Nightshade, but then I realized that the Orc Cleaver has his turn before the Nightshade, so... yeah. Okay. Can we kill the Warlock? Can we kill him, please? Nice, he didn't dodge. You failed! And we got an Invigoration Potion, that's actually huge. And the Witch Doctor gets plus 1 HP. And we got the Gerald up to level 3, so he has the rally bonus. The Orc Cleaver is invigorated. And everything looks really good. And now we have to face off Morganok, the last boss of the game. Can we beat him? Probably. Here we got a really nice AoE attack, and we're able to use the rally safely. Here, the Pokehoke ended up being a Giga Chad because look at that. Look at that, we were able to do some damage to Nock indirectly. That was very good. Unfortunately here, I was an idiot and I just left the ranger there thinking that Nock is not in range to hit him. I should have used Force of Nature to pull him back, but unfortunately I didn't, so the ranger ended up taking a little bit of HP damage, so now he's left with 2 health remaining. So we have to be kinda careful with him. We gotta be careful with him. Unfortunately I wasn't. Here I decided to just rely on Orange Jesus. And... well, actually, no, I didn't. I just healed him up. What, you thought I was gonna leave the ranger to die like I let him die on the Stormcloud's Winter? No. I'm smarter this time. I've grown wiser and fatter, as one wise Froge used to say. Okay, here unfortunately we dealt our minimal damage, so the summoner lived with 1 HP, and Nock is gonna be the first one to die. Which, you know, is a good and a bad thing. It's a good thing because he is technically the tankiest aspect, so getting him off the picture right away is nice. But the problem is that the summoner is still alive. And because of that, now he's gonna start spawning saplings. And the saplings are gonna die, then after 3 turns they're gonna respawn as Trunks, and that's gonna be very, very bad. And yeah, you're gonna see what's gonna happen. Okay, I decided to use my Brutal Strike on him, simply because I wanted to get him low enough to the point where I can kill anyone I want. But there's one problem. I didn't realize that Ga, the mage, basically, has just, I think, 1 or 2 HP more than the current amount that I need. So because of that, I had to kill him early. I had to kill the mage, basically. Let's just leave it at that. So the summoner is the last one that's standing, which is very bad because he's gonna start spawning trunks. And as you can see, the screen is starting to slowly but surely fill up with enemies. Just wait until the end, because oh my. I mean, look at that. Look at how many trunks we have. Holy crap. Yeah, the Orc Cleaver is in for a rough patch. We just gotta focus the boss. As long as we get some good RNG on the boss and he spawns in a good position, we should be fine. But look at that. Here, we literally couldn't do anything. We just used our AoE attack, and that's about it. We couldn't really do anything else. Here, as you can see, the Vine Pole is just blocking the way. We can't really do anything. And it killed the Witch Doctor, which is bad, because now with the Witch Doctor gone, I'm not sure if we're gonna make it. But thankfully, the trunks are piling up, and that's good, because collateral damage. Remember that, guys? Well, let's see. Come on, collateral damage. Be OP. Oh! Oh my god. We actually got it! The trunk killed his boss, let's go! You literally killed your own boss, bruh. Bruh. Okay. We got it! Let's go! Challenge completed! Man, that was insane. Okay, let's go. Wow, that was phenomenal. Like, for real, phenomenal. So, in the end, the question must be answered. Can you beat the entirety of Legends of Kingdom Rush on normal difficulty with just the Orc Cleaver? Well, if we don't count the first phase of Ariza, yes! Yes, you can. Like, wow, that was something. It was definitely something. I'm not sure if that was like the hardest challenge that I've ever done in Legends of Kingdom Rush, but it's definitely in my top 3. Because, wow, this really goes to show you how much you know about Legends of Kingdom Rush. And it makes you play the game in a much more interesting way. So, Morgan, Viduke, Solid Shield, anyone who is really playing Legends of Kingdom Rush, attempt this challenge. Just give it a try. You don't have to do the entirety of the game. Just try out Extra Dimensional Menace. I want to see how you will do, because holy crap, this challenge makes you really think about your decisions. So yeah, guys. Well, with that out of the way, that's gonna do it for today's video. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I appreciate you for sticking around to the end. Subscribe if you want to see more of this content in the future. And while you're at it, drop a like on the video. It means a lot to me. And I will see you in the next video. Until it comes, that was King Rexy, over and out.